Hello, Kipsters. This is Miss Tate. I love and miss you all. I hope you guys are doing well. Please give me a call if you have any questions on anything. I promise you, I'm sitting at home bored. I love talking to Kipsters. Shout out to a ton of Kipsters that have reached out to me already. Let's keep that up. Today, we're talking about volume. Normally, we think about volume on the TV when we're trying to make it louder or softer, but today, volume is about how much can fit inside a 3D object. So, this says how many unit cubes can we fit inside this fish tank? So, I'm going to really think about that. Let's check it out. Volume is all about what's filling inside something. Perimeter goes around, area covers on the inside, and volume actually fills. So volume is actually 3D. It pops out, it has that height. When we measure volume, we always measure with unit cubes. If it is inches, we would say cubic inches. If it is feet, we would say cubic feet. But it's always about those cubes because cubes have a length, a width, and a height. They actually pop out at us. They are a 3D solid. You cannot forget that. Okay, today in your exit ticket, you will have a question. If you just put units or square units, that's for perimeter and area. Today, it's all about the cubes, about the cubes, about the cubes. In this lesson, you will learn how to find the volume of a rectangular prism by filling it with unit cubes. Again, it's all about the cubes, about the cubes, about the cubes. Let's find the volume of this fish tank. So if you check this out, we can see that this fish tank, which is a rectangular prism, it has a side that is 5 units, this side that's 8 units, and this side that's 5 units. When I think about volume, you already saw this in your Google form, we want to think about length times width times height. Length times width times height. Length times width is like the area. We did that for our rectangle. So down here we can see that this would be 8 times 5. Area only has 2 dimensions, but volume has 3. So we have 8, how long it is, 5, how wide it is, but we also have a height because it pops out. That's going to be times 5 as well. So we need to multiply these 3 numbers together. 8 times 5 times 5. Now, when we do that, what's kind of cool about multiplication, we can do it in whatever order we want. We can do 5 times 5 times 8. We can do 8 times 5 times 5. Literally, it doesn't matter as long as we multiply those 3 numbers together. What I'm going to do is do 8 times 5 first. I'm going to do that because I already know in my head that 8 times 5 is 40, and that's an easy number because it's got a 0 in the ones place. So this is going to be 40. And that's referring to the base. The base is this bottom part of our tank. So I just figured out the base, and the base is 40 square units. It's just square units right now because I only have 2 dimensions. As soon as I times it by a third number, that's going to give us 3 dimensions. 40 times 5 is going to be 200. That means that I can actually fill in 200 cubic units inside of this fish tank. So I can actually use a lot of water and a lot of beautiful little fish. Okay? One thing if you want to be very, very fancy today, you can also write 200 cubic units, or you can write 200, and you're going to write units, and then to the third power. It's to the third power because there's 3 dimensions, and if it was a cube, it would be the same 3 numbers. So 200 units to the third power, or 200 cubic units. Okay, so one more thing I want us to remember, we can always do 5 times 8 times 5, length times width times height, or we can just do the base times the height. When I think about that, it's kind of like layers, and you already saw that in your Google form. This up here is one giant layer. And in this layer, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then going across, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This cube actually counts twice because it's both in this row and in this column, okay? So we can do 8 times 5 again. That's going to give me the area of the base. This base, which we can literally see on the top, it's all of these cubes, is 40. So I literally can see that this top layer up here is 40. That includes this whole cube right here. This is just showing us 3 faces of the same cube. I like looking at it this way because then I know, okay, this is 40, and then I have to see how many layers of 40 I have. Well, this is 40 on the top, but then I know there's another 40, and another 40, and another 40, and another 40. I should have 5 40s. I know I have 5 because the height is 5. This is like doing the base times the height. And the base is really my length and my width. So my big B stands for length times width times my height. So I again know that there's 5 stacks of 40, and 5 times 40 is 200. I don't care which way you guys use as long as it makes sense to you. You can either times the 3 numbers, 5 times 8 times 5, or you can see, all right, I see this one whole layer, which is 40, and then you can see 5 of those like that. That's what they're doing here. 8 times 5 is 40. It's square units, but then we times it by 5 more, and then we get those cubic units. Biggest thing to remember today, 1, make sure every answer for volume has cubic in it, and also make sure you are doing length times width times height, or you are doing the area of the entire base, then timesing it by the height. Please call me or text me if you have any questions. You guys rock. Have an awesome day.